All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. It is phenomenal to see all of you this afternoon, and I'm really excited, finally, that we've gotten to the opening of school. A disclaimer before I begin, that groups of students are very likely going to come running in here, maybe screaming, maybe not, looking lost. Please do not be alarmed. It is not a fire drill. It is not a prank. They are just participating in a house cup competition, and one of those things is to get a bag from the stage. The purpose of today's meeting is to introduce you to LFA's leadership team, to introduce our newest employees, to perhaps offer some reassurance and comfort, and to formally welcome you to Lake Forest Academy. And so to begin, I would like to introduce LFA's Dean's Council, people who serve as the school's senior administrative team. I'll ask that they stand and wave, although I believe that their pictures may show up on the screen if I can get this to work. There we go. All right. Rob Buckley is our Vice President of Advancement. And his teammate here is Patrick Coyle, our Chief Communications Officer. The next two people are someone you know, Jose De Jesus, Head of School. And his teammate is Diego Duran Medina, the Executive Director of the Stewart Center and Global Youth Leadership Institute. Carolyn Garowsky is our Dean of Admission and College Counselor. Tom Johnson is our Dean of Faculty and History and Social Science teacher. Anna Kleiner is our Director of Health Services. And Darren Maidley serves as our Athletic Director. Usanda Maikana is our Dean of Pluralism and Multicultural Affairs and Health, Wellness, and Community teacher. Nancy Nasser is our Assistant Head of School Academic Dean. Andrew Posca, our Dean of College Counseling. Mike Reedy, our Chief Financial Officer. It's a big team, but a really good team. For those of you who I have not yet met, I am Chris Tennyson, and I'm the Associate Head of School, Dean of Students. No. And we can move on from that picture as well. There we go. Good. We're leaving it there, even though we're not there. This is perfect. It's good. All right. So, Jose so badly wishes that he could be here today, and he passes along his greetings and best wishes. However, he is away from campus this weekend after he learned that his dearest aunt, someone he referenced in his graduation speech last spring, passed away due to COVID complications. If we can keep him and his family in our thoughts and prayers, then I'm sure that will go a long way. I would also like to begin by thanking Mrs. Garowsky and her team in the admissions office for their tireless work over this past year. After organizing virtual open houses, hosting online closer look sessions, interviewing lots of candidates, and reading even more applications, they chose you and your children to join our community. A community made up of hardworking, talented, and diverse students and families from over 15 states and 40 countries. And they have now passed that baton to others who I trust will assist and support you and your children to the very best of their ability. I hope that you are as thrilled to be here as I am. I love LFA. Filled with students committed to learning, expanding their minds, and broadening their horizons, LFA is a truly great school. More than a school, though, LFA is a residential community in which I chose to immerse myself. A community of educators committed to teaching and nurturing those in our care, and curious students committed to taking advantage of their opportunities. If you have not already, then I know you will come to love LFA too. Of course, I have a distinct advantage. I'm familiar with LFA. Most of you are not, though, either because you're brand new or due to COVID. I discovered a long time ago that few are new around here for long, though. Every single one of you will soon be absorbed into our frenetic pace of life. Our efforts to acclimate you to a new school, and more importantly, a new culture, will not end today. And everyone that you hear from at this meeting or meet at the picnic later will gladly assist you and/or point you in the right direction. I applaud you for your commitment to your children in more ways than they are old enough to know. I am also well aware that you are on the verge of sharing or resharing your most precious resource, your sons and your daughters, with us. That is not easy, and I thank you for that. Your willingness to do so is a ringing endorsement of a LFA education. I always say that I do not think that there is a better learning and living environment than a boarding school. But to send your child halfway across the world in some cases shows an extraordinary amount of trust. So, promising today to both know and care for your children, I am confident that we will serve them well and maintain your trust. This confidence is a result of my abiding faith in our faculty and staff, who, as they know, are in a unique position to affect the lives of young people at a most impressionable stage in their development. Dedicated, devoted, and invested in the intellectual and personal growth of your child, they will bear almost any burden to make sure your children develop to their fullest potential. To encourage your children to develop their potential, however, is a challenging but essential task made easier by the formation of a positive relationship between school and parents. We must work together in partnership, and especially now, as we continue to deal with a global pandemic and an increasingly polarized world. Given my confidence in LFA's faculty and staff, and their confidence in your children, I predict that for most, if not all, this will be a productive and rewarding partnership, especially if we communicate openly, honestly, and respectfully. Setting extremely high standards for ourselves, I will be the first to admit, however, that I am not perfect, and LFA is not perfect. You may experience moments of frustration as parents of teenagers, and even with LFA. What I want to underscore today and ask that we all remember is that my colleagues and I will do both our very best and want the very best for your children. Your children are awesome, and they are going to make us so proud. And I hope that they are excited to learn from a wide variety of educational experiences here and from equally motivated and curious peers with a wide variety of perspectives and experiences. They will be encouraged to reach for levels. Are you guys looking for a bag? No? Yeah, come on down. Come on down. What house are you in? Yes, Bird. Way to go. Come on. I'm going to go off on a tangent because Bird, if this means that Bird's in the lead, this is great. This is great. I think we've been dead last for like the last 3 years. And so here it is, turning over a new leaf. Here we go. All right. Where was I? I have no idea. I probably should have used this clip. We'll just make it up. And so I apologize for repeating myself. They will be encouraged to reach for levels of achievement that they have not attempted before, and they will be nurtured in that process. They will graduate from the academy, prepared for college, and with lifelong friends and fond memories. That said, as they reach for levels of achievement, okay, that they have not attempted before as they actively engage and participate in the life of the school by trying out new things. They will be required to experience some of the inevitable ups and downs associated with adolescent development. They may even fall down on occasion. There will be times when they will need our help, and we will be there for them. But there will also be times when they will learn how to get back up after they have fallen and simply dust themselves off. Though an extremely supportive community, LFA is going to purposely push your child to become more responsible, to become more self-reliant, and to become their own advocate. And by the time they graduate, their first instinct will be to solve their own problem and call for help if necessary, and not call for help as soon as they encounter a challenge or even resistance. I can tell you from experience that these inevitable bumps and bruises occasionally will test our partnership. It is, after all, excruciating for us to see our children struggle, and it is our instinct to protect them from harm. This often leads to a desire on our part to make things easier for them. But easier is not always best. With more means for your child to communicate with you than I know, you will, for example, receive an anxious, even urgent message at work from your frantic child that they flunked a quiz, they slept through first and second period, and they may be upset. Sufficiently alarmed, you will be tempted to email us before your child even gets to their next class. And when we reach out to that student later in the day, we often discover that he or she has already forgotten they even sent the message. I'm afraid that you may encounter many versions of this example over the years. Please don't overreact or immediately assume the worst or take sides. On the contrary, I would suggest with some humility that we cannot and probably should not always rescue our children. They deserve the chance to experience that profound joy of achievement as a result of their perseverance in the face of adversity, and not necessarily as a result of our intervention. They will thank us for that someday. You will also be pleasantly surprised, I predict, at how capable your children are, how independent they are, and will become. And you will be moved at how your children will ultimately honor you by showing you that they have learned the lessons that you've already imparted. Through it all, I am certain of one thing: bumps and bruises inevitably foreshadow periods of considerable growth. Finally, LFA's faculty and staff are the absolute best, and I would encourage you and urge you to take the initiative to reach out to the adults here. Take advantage of their goodwill. It's why we are all here, and why we can define LFA as a school community. The most successful LFA students, I can tell you from experience, are those who develop authentic relationships with their adult mentors, relationships that will last long after they leave this campus. Please invest in these relationships. You will be glad that you and your child did. And on behalf of them, words cannot express the excitement, my voice cracked, and gratitude we feel to have you here. Each of you can count on our very best efforts during the months and years ahead. And so I say congratulations and welcome again. And at this time, I would like to welcome Mrs. Carolyn Garowsky to the podium.
Hello and welcome to all the new families, and welcome back to all of our returning families. Well, it's Sergeant. I'm in Lewis, so hopefully Lewis is not the fourth to arrive. Mr. Tennyson always likes to scare the new students. So on our first slide, you'll see a breakdown of our admission numbers this year. We received 517 applications, and we've enrolled 128 new students. Our acceptance rate was 45% for any returning family. That is slightly higher than what we've been in years past. Overall, our day applicants and our domestic boarding applications actually increased, but we saw fewer international applications. We were expecting that due to COVID, We were thrilled, though, we had a higher yield rate than usual with our international students, and so our overall enrolled numbers, we hit those target enrollment numbers. Here is a breakdown of our enrollment numbers by class. You'll see the breakdown of our new students. I always like our transfer parents to see how many new transfer sophomores, juniors, and seniors we have, for them to know that their son or daughter is not the only one. We also have 91 new freshman students. A couple other interesting statistics about our new students and connections they have in our community. We have 14 new siblings. We actually have 69 students at LFA that have siblings here. We have 22 new students that have alumni connections, either an aunt or an uncle, a parent, an older sibling who's a graduate of LFA. And this year we have 2 new faculty children. Here's a breakdown of our boarding and day numbers and our male-female numbers. This year we're 47% boarding and 53% day. In our 9th grade class, we're actually 52% boarding and 48% day. We're 45% female and 55% male. And it's similar with our 9th grade class, but we're at 47% female and 53% male with the 9th grade class. Here's a breakdown of our domestic students by how they identify their race or ethnicity. Overall, we're 25% international and 75% domestic. This year, we have 48% of our students who identify as domestic students of color. That is compared to 35% last year. So it's a significant increase, and we are thrilled to see that increase. Here's a breakdown of our day students in the cities they come from. Our day student population, we get this question a lot in the admissions process, so I thought I would share it with you guys, are from 43 different cities. I'd be curious to see how that compares to our peer schools in the area. I would imagine that has to be one of the highest. And so you'll see a breakdown of where each of our students come from. And actually, as you probably expect, most of our day students, the highest number are from Lake Forest, but the next city is actually Highland Park, and then Winnetka, and then Glencoe. So it's, everyone always guesses Lake Bluff. They're actually 5th on the list, but it's, you kind of see the wide range of places. And as Mr. Tennyson said, our students are from 15 different states this year, which is similar to last year. We lost a couple states and added a few states. The states in orange are where we have new students. Come on down, Lewis. So the states in orange are where we have new students from this year. And this year we have students from 40 different countries and territories. Last year we had 35 countries and territories represented, so we were really excited to see the increase this year. And again, you'll see the countries and territories in orange is where we have new students from. And this is either by country of residence or country of citizenship. And finally, here's a breakdown of our financial aid. This year, we distributed $6.1 million in financial aid to 32% of our student body, or 32% of our student body received need-based aid. You'll also see a breakdown of that distribution of aid. It went to 37% day students, 49% domestic boarding students, and 14% international boarding students. So thank you again for coming back to LFA or joining us this year. I know the admissions team was really excited by the students who we have joining the community. It's a really bright and talented group of students. It's been very exciting watching them connect on the quad and around campus this past week, and to welcome back our returning students, especially many of our returning students who were gone last year, and some who had never been to campus. So our rising 10th graders who were remote all year. So there's a lot of really great energy, and I hope you'll continue to encourage your sons and daughters to stay on campus in the evenings and on the weekends and help them connect with their CACCs. Next up is Tom Johnson to help introduce our wonderful new faculty members.
right, thank you. And I'm going to have the booth, is that Abby up there? Maybe switch the slides for me as we go here so I don't mess up this remote. I tend to mess it up every time I touch it. Some of my advisees' parents are in the room, and it was great to be able to meet in person today. We had relationships last year completely online, and it was great to see you. It's great to have all of you here with us. So we have a large new group and a super impressive group, and I'd like to ask them, as I call their name, to have them stand up and wave to you, and then I'll tell you a little bit about them as we go through. So John Bass Begill, PhD. John joins LFA as a math instructor, assistant track coach, and head of the math team. He's originally from Lincolnshire, attended Loyola Academy, studied mechanical engineering at Harvard College, and received his PhD in civil and environmental engineering at Stanford. After leaving academia, John spent a number of years working as a data scientist for various tech startups in the Bay Area. He enjoys sports of all kinds, as he ran on the cross-country and track teams in college, and he especially enjoys downhill skiing with his 2 nieces and nephew. He's passionate about traveling, and gather this, he's visited 98 countries since college, and he believes life has come full circle in a sense as he returns to his Lake County roots for the upcoming school year. He'll be living on campus in Reed Hall. Gil Cook-Hoyt, PhD. Just a quick note, you won't see Gil in the room. That's because he's currently in Switzerland, where his son was born 2 weeks ago. He'll be back on campus in September as soon as they receive the passport. Gil joins LFA as the Global Department Chair and English teacher. He comes to LFA's faculty following an 18-year teaching career in higher education. After receiving his doctorate from Purdue, Gil spent the last 11 years as an associate professor of English at Dominican University, where he and faculty collaborators developed a framework for curricular study abroad programming that is now at the center of the university's strategic plan for global learning. Gil brings his expertise in global education to LFA's global concentration. He will also partner with the Stewart Center and the academic office as LFA looks to better align and strengthen our global curriculum and programming. As a teacher, Gil brings his scholarship and expertise in global literature, especially in regards to literature of the African diaspora, to our English and global departments. He lives on campus in Weinbrenner Hall with his wife and LFA teacher Tanya, their daughter Kelly, and their newborn son Glendale. Patrick Coyle. Patrick joins LFA as the Chief Communications Officer. He comes from the Washington, D.C. area, where he served as the Director of Marketing and Communications at Georgetown Preparatory School for the past 8.5 years. He is a 2003 Georgetown Prep alum and came back to the school in 2013 as the school's first Director of Marketing and Communications. He previously worked for a private equity firm in Washington, D.C. At Georgetown Prep, Patrick was responsible for developing and implementing the school's marketing, communications, and brand promotion strategies and developing new media practices to reach all constituencies. He is a graduate of Dickinson College, where he was a 4-year letter winner on the school's basketball team, and he's living in Lake Forest with his wife, Haley, and his sons, Liam and Reed. He loves spending time with his family, running, and spending time on Cape Cod. Nirali Dalia. Nirali is thrilled to join the LFA community. You can come on up. You looking for one of these? I should have interluded before. I am a member of Sergeant, so seeing 2 Sergeant bags go out early was good. It was the start of a 3-peat this year. Nirali is thrilled to join the LFA community as a licensed school therapist. Prior to joining LFA, she spent the last 12 years in private practice. She earned her Master's of Arts in Clinical Psychology from Illinois School of Professional Psychology and her Bachelor of Arts in Psychology from DePaul University. Nirali graduated from LFA in 1998 and is delighted to be returning home. She lives in Lake Forest with her husband Niraj, 2 daughters Janvi and Ria, and 2 dogs Gizmo and Nala. Diego Duran Medina. This is not actually in your bio, but Diego and I advised together, so he's my co-pilot. Diego's thrilled to be joining the LFA community as the director of the Stewart Center for Global Leadership and executive director of the Global Youth Leadership Institute. Prior to LFA, he served as the director of service learning at Shorecrest Preparatory School in St. Petersburg, Florida, for 6 years. Diego co-founded the Center for Service Learning Leadership and wrote his first book, Uncommon Civics, while at Shorecrest. He also founded LeadServe Consulting, helping schools develop service learning curricula and programming. Diego earned a Bachelor of Arts from Colgate University, a Master's of Arts from New York University in International Education, and a Master's of Education in Independent School Leadership from the Klingenstein Center at Teachers College, Columbia University. He was born in Caracas, Venezuela, and has traveled extensively to 33 countries, loves to speak and read in Spanish, and his favorite city in the world is New Orleans. He's excited to dream and direct new ways for LFA faculty and students to travel, lead, and serve with intentional purpose. Congratulations, Welch. Marquand Edmonds. Marquand, who will be better known as Coach Q, has been in the fitness industry for 10 years. Q graduated from the University of Indianapolis with a degree in kinesiology. He has a passion for fitness and helping people attain their goals. Q's high-energy personality combined with his extensive knowledge of exercise technique make him the ideal fitness coach for the school. He'll be working with students in the fitness program in the afternoons, as well as with our coaches and teams as they develop workout regimens. Eric Frempong. Eric is excited to have the opportunity to join and learn more about LFA. He will be a mathematics faculty member and will be teaching pre-calculus and geometry. He will also be coaching in the boys and girls soccer programs. Originally from Ghana, known as the Gateway to Africa, Eric earned his bachelor's degree in Kumasi and lived most of his life and completed most of his formal education there. He then moved to Fort Wayne, Indiana, where he completed his master's degree in mathematics from Purdue University, Fort Wayne. He's very excited to join this lovely community and contribute to making a difference in the students' lives, and will be living in Warner Dormitory. Jenny Gorey. Jenny's thrilled to be joining LFA as the assistant athletic trainer. She graduated in 2020 from Eastern Illinois University with a master's degree in sport administration and a bachelor's in kinesiology and sports studies with a concentration in athletic training. While earning her master's, she worked as graduate assistant athletic trainer at a high school in Casey, Illinois for 2 years. She has always been passionate about working with children and student athletes of all ages. Along with her certification in athletic training, she is certified in the Graston technique, Stop the Bleed, and CPR AED. Jenny currently resides in Lake Zurich, Illinois with her dog Harvey. Harvey's big, right? And loves spending time outside staying active with him. Mike Hall, PhD. Mike is excited to join LFA this fall. He's taught mathematics for 27 years at the university and the high school level. He joins LFA from Johns Hopkins University, where he served as a mathematics education lecturer for the past 3 years. He earned his bachelor's, master's, and a PhD, all from the University of Mississippi. His experiences in the classroom, as well as experiences providing professional development to in-service teachers, serve as a basis for his immersive learning style, where he tries to make mathematics come to life for students in meaningful ways. He's elated to serve as a baseball coach. He's also coaching the girls' golf team this fall. He will be teaching AP Calculus and AP Statistics, and he lives on campus in Newhall with his wife, Glinda. He has 2 sons, 24-year-old Grayson and 20-year-old Jack. Though new to the boarding school world, Mike is well prepared for the community aspect of LFA and is looking forward to this next chapter in his career. Paul Howell. I think Paul's not here because he's probably giving your sons and daughters iPads right now. He's part of the IT department. He joined LFA in September of 2020. Paul has a BA in English Literature from Northern Illinois and is currently pursuing his MS in Data Analytics from Western Governors University. Originally from Tingley Park, Paul relocated back to Illinois from New Mexico, where he worked in the IT department for the Santa Fe Indian School, as well as the regional nonprofit organization CPLC, which stands for Chicanos por la Casa. He currently resides in the Bucktown neighborhood of Chicago with his 5-year-old white lab, Piper. Jen Jorn. Similarly, Jen joined the LFA community in September of last year, right after we started the school year, working in the business office. She completed her degree in 2019 with a Bachelor of Science in Human Resource Management and Business Administration and a minor in psychology from Columbia College of Missouri. She lives in Spring Grove with her husband, Eric, and 2 dogs, Ava and Duke. In her free time, she enjoys spending time with her family and friends, traveling whenever possible, enjoying live music and visiting breweries, and she's thrilled to be a part of the LFA community. We all like live music. Luckily, it's back a little bit. Brian Martin. I think Brian is probably with Paul with the iPads. He joined LFA in February of 2020. He graduated from Southern Illinois University, majoring in information systems and technology, where he worked as a desktop support technician. He is originally from Madison, Illinois, in the south suburbs. He's also been serving in the Illinois Army National Guard since 2016. He lives in nearby Highwood and helps to coach the boys lacrosse team here at LFA. Sarah Michelson. Sarah is very excited to be joining the LFA Science Department. She earned her bachelor's degree in science education at the University of Iowa and started her teaching career at Bettendorf High School. She then went on to earn a master's degree in biological sciences from Clemson University. Originally from Iowa, she's happy to return to the Midwest after spending the last 5 years teaching at Westover, a girls' boarding school in Connecticut. At LFA, she will be teaching physics and chemistry, is coaching field hockey, and hopes to help start the debate team. Sarah often spends her summers engaged in research internships or teaching at summer camps, but also makes time to relax at the lake. In her free time, she enjoys live music, trivia, and learning to play guitar, and she'll live on campus in Weinbrenner Hall. Nancy Nasser. Nancy is a first-generation immigrant whose parents immigrated from just outside of Cairo, Egypt. They started their journey in the U.S. in Columbia, South Carolina, where her father was completing his doctorate. They moved to the Lake County area at about age 8, where she and her brothers grew up. Nancy attended the University of Illinois at Chicago for undergrad, where she studied teaching and English literature. She began working in schools immediately following graduation, deciding early on as an educator that she wanted to use her classroom as a place to incubate critical thinking, where she would hope to inspire students to love learning, nurture creativity, and lead with empathy. She pursued a master's degree in educational leadership from Columbia University. She found that working at a systems level to help schools continuously improve is incredibly rewarding. Nancy's favorite part is being able to work alongside and coach fellow teachers. She has been in school leadership for the past decade and also serves on multiple nonprofit boards, including Lake Forest Country Day School and Rogers Park Middle School. And yet her most significant and most rewarding role in life has been serving as a mother to 2 incredible sons who will be attending LFA this fall. Nancy will live with her husband Tim and children in Lincolnshire, though they will be moving onto campus sometime in October. Anna O'Daney. Anna is delighted to be joining LFA as an interim faculty member teaching adolescent psychology this fall. She has been a member of the community since 2018, living in Warner House with her husband, Tyler Magley. Anna graduated from Lake Forest College in 2019 with a Bachelor of Arts in Biology. As a new teacher, she's excited for the opportunity to work with her science department colleagues at LFA. Beth Olinger. I think Beth may be working with your sons and daughters too. She works in the health center. She's thrilled to return to LFA as a registered nurse for the health center after spending nearly a decade as an LFA parent. Beth's nursing expertise was a mosaic of experiences, with the common thread being women and children's health. She thought she had finalized her nursing career when she and her husband Joe moved from her hometown of South Bend, Indiana to Chicago to raise their family. Her new role was at-home mom and volunteer. She has chaired on several platforms at school and in the community, as well as held multiple volunteer positions at LFA, and was an executive board officer. Beth and her husband reside in Lake Forest and have 3 children: Hannah, a 2013 LFA alumna, Sydney, a 2019 LFA alumna, and Maximilian, a rising Lake Forest High School senior. Mireille Palm, PhD. Mireille is thrilled to be joining LFA's Modern and Classical Languages Department as a French and Spanish teacher. A native of France, she has always had a love of different cultures and languages. She has traveled and lived all over the world, including England, Mexico, as well as all 4 time zones in the US, and she speaks English, French, Portuguese, and Spanish. She received MAs in English and Film Studies from Université Lyon and Université Paris, as well as an MA in French from Georgia State University, and she then went on to earn a PhD in French Literature and Film Studies from the University of Chicago. After teaching at the college level and the Chicago lab schools, she taught for 7 years at Viewpoint School in California. She spent the last couple of years in Bozeman, Montana, where she worked as a freelance translator, interpreter, and language tutor. She lives off campus with her husband and 2 children, Oliver and Eliza, plus Mochi, the cat. Alan Rivet. Alan, too, is working with the health center right now. He's excited to join the LFA community as one of our new nurses. He joined the team in March 2021 and will be working day shifts throughout the week. Prior to joining LFA, he was a nurse with the North Shore University Health Systems for 7 years. Alan's originally from Louisiana and has been living in the area for a little over 10 years. He's a huge New Orleans Saints and LSU fan. He lives off campus with his wife, VNA, and 12-year-old daughter, Miley, in Wheeling. His daughter is entering the 7th grade with hopes of joining the LFA community as a freshman in 2 years. Swati Tanwar. Swati is thrilled to join LFA as an interim French and global concentration faculty member. With her, she brings 9 years of experience facilitating diverse curricula such as Cambridge IGCSE and IB Middle Years and Diploma program. Swati is an IB French examiner and a contributor to the IB MYP assessment. Her educational background includes a bachelor's degree in commerce from the University of Delhi and a certificate in the French language from Alliance Française. She earned her diploma in teaching French as a foreign language from Le Mans University. She believes in lifelong learning and is currently pursuing a certification in e-learning and instructional design from Oregon State. Originally from India, she moved to the United States last year and lives in Chicago with her husband. She looks forward to fostering love and passion for the subject in her students at LFA. Sarah Taylor, PhD. Sarah's thrilled to join the LFA community as a psychology teacher in the science department. For the past 3 years, she served as a visiting assistant professor of psychology at Ohio Wesleyan University, where she taught intro to psychology, research methods, social psychology, psychology of self, and psychology and law. She earned a PhD in experimental social psychology from Ohio University and a BA in philosophy and psychology from UNC Chapel Hill. Prior to starting her education at UNC, she spent a number of years playing professional tennis on the WTA Tour and later served as a national coach for the United States Tennis Association. She's excited to share her enthusiasm and love of tennis with LFA students as a coach in the girls program and with the broader community. She lives on campus in the Gatehouse with her wife, Alexis, and their 3 daughters, Olympia, Cecilia, and Theodora. Alexis Venecianos. It's very convenient that you're next to each other in the alphabet. Alexis is eager to join LFA as the Associate Athletic Director and Girls Lacrosse Coach. Over the last 20 years, she has had a decorated playing and coaching careers at the NCAA and international levels. Alexis graduated from the University of Maryland and was a member of 2 NCAA national championship teams in 2000 and 2001, serving as team captain and earning All-American. She then served as assistant coach and recruiting coordinator for Northwestern University. The Wildcats went 56-4 across 3 seasons, winning back-to-back NCAA championships in 2005 and 2006. Her head coaching career started in 2006 at the University of Massachusetts, followed by Ohio State University for 9 seasons, and most recently at Otterbein University. Alexis also has experience as the head coach of the Canadian national team in 2012 and 2013. She led Team Canada to its best finish in history with a silver medal at the Women's Lacrosse World Championship in Oshawa. She and her wife, Dr. Sarah Taylor, reside on campus with their 3 daughters, Olympia, Cecilia, and Theodora. And that's the end of the list. It's a big group. I'm pleased to introduce Usanda Maikana.
Good afternoon. I'm sorry I missed the beginning of the meeting. I had to go and open the meditation room and wanting to make sure that Lewis House actually gets first place, but I'm not sure. My name is Usanda Maikana, and I am the Dean of Pluralism and Multicultural Affairs, starting my 19th year at LFA and my 32nd year as an educator. Of course, I'm only 29, even though my son is 25. My son is an LFA alum class of 2014. And I also want to extend a warm welcome to all LFA families. And as you've heard earlier on, LFA is a very diverse school with students from very diverse backgrounds. We know that diversity on its own is not enough. Without a commitment to equity and inclusion, where we actively seek opportunities for both large and small to make the world a better place for others. Here at LFA, we strive to create an inclusive school community that meets the needs of all our diverse students to support instruction, learning, living, and working together in this beautiful mosaic that is LFA. We strive to create a culture of belonging where all our students thrive in a community that emphasizes care, caring for one another, and a community that fosters belonging and community for all students. In education, we purposefully seek to better understand the people around us, a better understanding of the complex ways that individuals interact within systems and institutions. In this fast-paced world that we live in, our work and lives become a blur of high-speed activities with information streaming at us faster than at any time in history. If this pandemic has taught us anything, it is that the world we live in is so intricately connected, and that we should strive to prepare our students for the world they will live in 2050. As a result, we are constantly thinking about skills, competencies, and mindsets that our students need to prepare for the world that they will live in 2050. And I trust that parents will continue to support us with the understanding that our work with your children is not preparing them to live in the world we lived in as children. However, we are preparing our children to thrive in the 21st century, where globalization, changing demographics, and a more collaborative workforce will be the norm. The 21st century skills of critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, cross-cultural communication skills, problem-solving, resilience, technology and digital literacy, and information literacy will not be negotiable. For us as educators, this pandemic has also revealed that our students are innovative geniuses, and as we move forward, we are always looking for avenues that we can continue to provide a student-centered learning to our students. I hope you will support our efforts to continue creating an inclusive community, an inclusive learning environment with a strong awareness that we are in the midst of a global pandemic. We want to give the students voice in dialogue about difficult topics and current events as we live in a very polarized society. Also, we hope that our students will learn to understand their views and the views of others and seek to understand the perspectives and lived experiences of people who are different from them. We expect students to engage with the diverse views of the people around them with compassion, taking time to listen and consider the diverse circumstances and lived experiences of those outside their circle of concern. And we want them to reflect and take appropriate action when they have done something wrong and seek to repair any harm done. We want them to understand and be aware of their biases and respect and accept individuals for who they are, and to learn to act as allies on what it means to be an ally and advocate for others, including the marginalized people of communities, and to look for ways, or communities, and look for ways to include those who are left out. We hope that we will continue to find ways to replace judgment and assumptions with curiosity and inquiry, confront unfairness and discrimination, understand systems of power, privilege, and oppression, and work to dismantle those systems. And we want our students to practice asking questions. and taking time to expand their circles of concern and listening to each other deeply in order to develop their capacity for empathy and caring. And as faculty and staff, we also listen to our students and our young alumni's concerns, and at the moment we are working on the Head of School Equity Task Force, and we have collected data. We started working on that last year. We have collected data from our students, learning about their experiences of belonging at LFA. And this year we will continue to engage with the data collected. We collected data in interviews and focus groups, and we will continue to engage with this data using PLCs, working with faculty and staff, as a way of making sure that everyone is on board and understands the whole process of the inquiry, and also engaging meaningfully with that data. And it is a student-centered and very collaborative project that we have been doing, that we started on last year and we continue to work on this year. And we're looking at this data to figure out what we are doing right and how we can enhance our environment to make sure that we are able to change the way we do things in the event that there is a need to do that, to enhance belonging, equity, and inclusion during their time with us. And we plan to conclude the process of the Head of School Equity Task Force at the end of this semester. And up next is Anna. Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Anna Kleiner. It's so nice to be in the same room with so many of you who I've spoken with on the phone or emailed back and forth. I am the Director of Health Services here at Lake Forest Academy. I'm a practicing family nurse practitioner, and I'm going to give you a lot of information really quickly. So if you have questions about this information or want clarification at any time, please reach out to me. Myself and my team are here at all times for you and your kids. And I want to just quickly, before I get started on some of the COVID pieces, just give you an idea of how our team functions here at LFA. So our health services team consists of 2 licensed school therapists, Norali, who you had the pleasure of clapping for earlier, and Jennifer Maidley. We also have nurses available. There's 6 of them on our team this year. There are nurses on site every day from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., a little bit shorter on the weekends. And then we have nurses who are available on call overnight every night. So there's always the opportunity to connect with someone with health expertise at all times, 24 hours a day. And then, of course, I'm on the team also. So let me just give you a little bit of a COVID update. For those of you who weren't here last year or who are curious about how things went last year, we had a total of 47 positives in our population. Of those adults, faculty, staff, and our Sodexo partners, 20 were adults and 19 were students. Close contacts just from our LFA positives, there were 81. So 81 people had to quarantine last year, and then 32 of those were boarding students who had to quarantine here on campus. Our on-campus transmission rate last year was 0. There were no cases with an index case here at LFA, so that's really great. Totally. Awesome. We are wanting to keep that up this year. We're really hopeful that we can keep our community here in person and learning. That's our goal. So I'm just going to get into a few details that are going to make that possible. Briefly, I'm not going to give you specifics about our vaccination rates of students because, candidly, I have cards coming in every single day, and it's changed since I wrote this speech this morning. So, but I can tell you that for faculty, staff, and Sodexo, we are 94% vaccinated, which is excellent. We also have 46 students and counting signed up to begin their vaccination on this coming Wednesday. So for students that weren't able to become vaccinated prior to the start of the school year. So that's awesome as well. So what do we know? When we updated our plans in July, we were more strict than the existing guidance. Due to our vulnerable boarding population and based on our experience last year and expert guidance from the health department, our epidemiologists, and infectious diseases experts. Since then, the CDC guidance has changed, but we are still on the conservative end of what has been recommended, and we are still confident in the scientific backing of our layered approach. That said, in the setting of this Delta variant, more information in the form of population-level data and clinical outcomes continue to emerge daily, and LFA is committed to following the latest and best science with the ultimate aim of keeping our kids safely with us here in school, and doing as many activities as safely possible. Vaccines, we can go, oh good, we're on that slide. Okay. Vaccines continue to be the best defense we have against severe illness and death. There's a lot of virus circulating, and vigilance is key. And just for a snapshot, and currently, as of this morning, again, in Lake County, our transmission is considered high, just like it is pretty much in every county throughout the country right now. We are 131 cases per 100K people, and the test positivity rate in Lake County is 5.9% as of today. Also, but good news is in Lake County, we have 64% of our population 12 plus fully vaccinated, and 55% of our total population is fully vaccinated. And again, there's places you can look up those numbers, and I'm happy to go over them with anybody who wants to discuss them. So the point is there's still a lot of virus circulating. This re-entry period is incredibly important, and we all have the collective ability to keep one another safe more than ever. Our students excelled last year at this, and we are confident that they will this year as well. If nothing else, please remember to wear a mask when indoors, always on campus, when riding in a car with someone not from your family. And please reinforce this with your kids. Make arrangements for your child to take a vaccine if you've not already, and encourage those around you who are eligible to do so. There is an opportunity for kids to take or anyone in the community actually, to take a vaccination here on Wednesday, and you should get links about that tonight in the parent e-news. If possible, avoid prolonged indoor close interactions with large groups. Make safe choices when not at school. We are all interconnected. If your child has any symptoms of COVID, please keep them home, or ask them to, if they're a boarder, ask them to stay in their room and contact the health center as soon as possible. For our unvaccinated community members, including those in the process of completing vaccination, weekly testing is required. Any students whose parents have not consented to this weekly testing, and that's, again, a document in Magnus, who have not been vaccinated will need to provide their own negative PCR tests weekly every Monday morning. Vaccinated community members may opt in for testing, but one important caveat is that fully vaccinated individuals who test positive here or outside will need to still complete 10 days of isolation regardless of vaccination status. This obviously is the case also for unvaccinated individuals. A link will be sent out again tonight in the parent e-news to allow you to opt in for testing any week you want to do so. I just ask that you please submit that for the week that you plan to participate by Friday of the preceding week. It'll be in the garden room, and tests are available anytime for those who have exposure or symptoms. Fully vaccinated close contacts who are asymptomatic will not need to quarantine, but they will be asked to test at day 3 to 5 post-exposure, and they will be asked to be vigilant with masking and to monitor for symptoms, for the development of symptoms. And they will still be contacted, and we will discuss with them that they are close contacts and give them those instructions. Quarantine will be full 14 days for any unvaccinated close contacts. Any student who is isolated or quarantined due to COVID, due to being a close contact or case, will be allowed to join classes remotely. I also want to remind everyone that for unvaccinated individuals who choose to travel after school starts, we will require a 14-day quarantine, and your child will not be able to Zoom into classes. We'll not be asking for daily symptom checks or symptom screening or temperature checks, but it is then even more vital for folks to self-report symptoms. We also had a lot of success with our flu vaccination program last year, and we'll offer that as well this year, October 6th and 7th. Look for an email in the upcoming e-news. We will continue to communicate actively if there's something urgent COVID-related, but we are also encouraging families to use the COVID update on our website, and this will be updated at least weekly. Finally, your kids are so impressive and resilient. We are committed to continuing to safely support their physical health, as well as their emotional well-being and their academic and extracurricular successes. Please encourage proactive health behaviors, such as adequate sleep, nutritious food, physical activity, screen hygiene, and connection with loved ones. Please contact myself or my team anytime you have questions or concerns. We're here for you, and especially for your kids. And next, we get to hear from Rob Buckley and Leanne Jacobson from the Advancement Department.
So we had a pretty stellar year last year here at Lake Forest Academy navigating COVID, and Anna was part of a team of people that kept our students, faculty, and staff safe, and I just think we should give Anna and the whole team a big round of applause for all they did. A big welcome to our new families, and a welcome back to our returning families. My name is Rob Buckley. I have the honor of serving as Vice President for Advancement. I'm now in my 5th year at Lake Forest Academy. One of the things I'd like to do is share with you a little bit about advancement, which you're probably saying, what's that? I have some lovely people standing off to my left, or to my right, left, yeah. Anyway, behind me. They are volunteers, along with Leanne Jacobson, who you will hear from very shortly. First of all, let's talk a little bit about what advancement is and how important these folks are to that advancement program. Some of you come from public high schools where there may not be an advancement program, and others come from other countries where there may not be an advancement program in the schools that you came from. First of all, one of the things we do is parent relations, and that includes our alumni parents, so everything under the advancement umbrella related to parent relations comes from our office and the wonderful group of volunteers that we have working for us. We also oversee Alumni Engagement. We have 6,000 alumni of Lake Forest Academy and Ferry Hall. Why does that matter to you as parents? Well, first of all, they're a source of jobs for your children at some point when they graduate from college. They will be a source of advice, and they will be a wonderful network. The other thing that these alumni do is they invest in the facilities that we're blessed to have here at Lake Forest Academy. They provide scholarships, they provide all kinds of other forms of philanthropy, so they're important to our continued progress and mission effectiveness. Also, fundraising falls under advancement. We have an academy fund, we have a big gala every year, we work on endowment, capital projects, special projects. And so when you say capital, what exactly does that mean? So for example, we're in the Cressy Center here, and in the late 1990s, some parents were responsible for providing the philanthropy that helped to construct this building, as well as continuous upgrades that have happened throughout the 2000s. We also work on donor stewardship, making sure that our donors feel perfectly recognized and thanked for their generosity. We also provide staffing for the Parents Association Board, the Alumni Advisory Board, our life trustees, and we also work pretty significantly with the last group of volunteers that you see on the screen. Next slide, please. So what did we do last year? Well, we engaged parents and alumni to the tune of 1,600 people, all through Zoom. And that's actually on par with what we did pre-pandemic with in-person visits. So we'll be doing a combination of Zoom and virtual programming this year along with in-person. We executed our first ever virtual gala, and I want you to all hopefully join us for an in-person gala this spring. It's a great community building opportunity. It's also a fundraising event, and it is primarily made up of parents, although we do have some alumni and some alumni parents in attendance. We executed 2 virtual parent days. We also executed our CNE program, which again, I'd like you to be sure you put that on your calendar. It's a wonderful discussion of a topic that taps the expertise of our alumni and our parents, and hope you'll be able to join us for that. We also help pretty significantly in the communication with parents. You'll receive copies of our review magazine as well as our weekly e-news that we put together in conjunction with our communications team. So how did we do on fundraising last year? Next slide, please. We had a pretty good year. $5.4 million raised, along with $1.57 million in payments. So why does this matter? Tuition does not cover the cost of education, so philanthropy is key to making this place a stellar institution. Our Academy Fund last year, $1.8 million on a goal of $1.6 million. Our faculty and staff gave back to the school $36,000 in their own earnings back to the school. I don't know of a more dedicated group of people than what they do on a daily basis, and then on top of it, they give back their hard-earned dollars, so we thank them all, and there's a bunch of them in this room. We had record parent giving last year, over $700,000 in annual giving. We also had $140,000 in expendable annual scholarships. Last year, a number of our alumni stepped up and said, we know that there are families struggling out there because of COVID, and we want to make sure that they can continue to afford Lake Forest Academy. Next slide, please. We're in the midst of something called the Inspire and Invest initiative. Some of you have heard about it. Some of you have invested in it. We're at $16.1 million secured toward our $20 million goal. What has been created during the process of this is 44 new endowed scholarships, 4 new endowed faculty chairs, 14 faculty professional development funds, 5 of which are going to come online this year. This is really an exciting time, so some of you are the recipients of some of these new endowed scholarships through your children. And you're also part of an effort as we try to recruit and retain the best faculty members possible for your sons and daughters. We hope to close out the Inspire and Invest initiative by the end of the calendar year, so if you'd like to discuss ways to support students or faculty, feel free to contact me, Jose, Leanne, or any other members of the advancement team. We'll be at the picnic. We'll be happy to talk with you about it. Next slide, please. Okay, lots of dates. You see them up on the screen right now. This is your school. Please come. Please come to this campus. It's a beautiful campus. We want your involvement, and there's some really wonderful opportunities through some of our events throughout the year. You'll be hearing about them on a regular basis, so when you get those emails from us, please read them because they're about some of these events. Now I'd like to turn things over to my colleague, Leanne Jacobson, who's a wonderful colleague that you will get to know very regularly, and she's our Director of Parent Relations and Giving. Leanne.
Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Leanne Jacobson. I am the Director of Parent Relations and Giving here at the Academy. I'm entering my 2nd year. Last year, I was relatively new because I am also the mother of 2 LFA students. My daughter Allison graduated in the class of 2013, and my son Drew is a junior this year. When he transferred in last year, we didn't have this wonderful gathering. And we quickly had to pivot to offering many parent engagement opportunities online. So first, let me welcome everyone who's here in attendance. but also for the families that are going to be watching this recording, because like we heard, there's parents watching from all around the globe. Welcome to you. And we will also be offering multiple ways for parents to do 3 things with the Parent Relations Office this year. You could see we'd like you to connect, engage, and impact. The overarching goal of Parent Relations and Giving is to create the opportunities for all LFA parents and guardians to do 3 things. Connect. The Parent Relations goal is to give you as parents your own parallel parent journey while your student is here for the 4 years. We try to do that by keeping you informed on important academy developments and initiatives, and our goal is to strengthen our parent community to the point where it feels like we're your LFA family. To engage. We are going to provide inclusive opportunities for all parents to engage. With students coming from 40 countries and 15 states, Parent Relations strives to create both in-person and virtual opportunities on weekdays, weekends, daytime, evening, for all parents from around the globe to engage when it's convenient for you. Impact. We want to form a philanthropic partnership to impact and enhance the LFA student experience. As you just heard from Dr. Buckley, we as parents now are benefited from the parents from the past. So those to you who want to make an impact now, that is another goal of our Parent Relations and Giving Office. We're going to create opportunities all throughout the year for you to join in your support when it's the time that's right for you and to the project that means the most to you. Next slide. In my role as director, I also serve as the chief liaison of the Parents Association. They're known as the PA. And we collaborate together all year long in support of the goals and mission of the Academy as it relates to parent engagement and fundraising. Together, Parent Relations, in collaboration with the Parents Association, we answer questions, offer assistance, and provide suggestions to support student success and parent engagement through volunteerism and philanthropy. On the stage with me and Dr. Buckley today is our PA president, Dr. Aida Quiros. And also our PA president-elect, Judith Romulus. And it is my pleasure to bring Dr. Aida Quiros to the podium.
Thank you. Well, I wanted to take it off, but I don't think so. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. All of us here make up the Parents Association. Please participate in the programs. Our school is truly a special place, so we are looking forward to seeing you here often. And I think, shall we go to the picnic? I think it's time. Thank you.
Before we close today, I'd like to acknowledge all the Parents Association board members and also volunteers in the audience. I see many of you out there, so if you are a board member or a volunteer, such as a parent ambassador, please take a moment to stand so we could all give you a big round of applause. Thank you. And for a list of all board members and ways to get involved, the address is there off of the Parents Portal. And at this time, Dr. Buckley? Is that it? Oh, Mr. Tennyson.
Recognizing that I'm the last thing that stands between you and the picnic, I'm going to be extremely brief and just simply say and paraphrase a little bit of the toast that I led for our faculty and staff last week, which is just on behalf of the head of school office and on behalf of the dean of students office I wish you all very good health. I welcome you to a wonderful family, and here's to remaining positive and testing negative. Thank you so much. Enjoy the picnic. Enjoy your journey. Have a great year. Thank you.